Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new podcast of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe. Stebby is on the other side, Cantu. Of course, school is back in session for these kids, so the teacher, the maestro himself, is out for tonight's pod. But hey, we got you covered here. Stebby, how's the week so far? I mean, the weekend is already upon us.
Yeah, it's going well so far. I mean, pretty glad today that I seen some results in the gym, so that was something to give me like a little boost. But so far so good. Ready to get this weekend. Hopefully we can get that fantasy stuff situated. You know what I mean? Because I'm ready to whoop y'all ass.
I don't know about that. If I can remember, you finish
Yeah, I finished.
fourth
I finished
from
pretty low.
last.
Yeah, I did bad. I didn't. For being my first time, I didn't know really like what to get first. You know what I mean? So I kind of messed up like on the draft. So this year I know where I should target in the early rounds. You know, last year kind of messed up the way I did, but it's all right. We move, and this year should be better, hopefully. Um, Also, I bet you Angel probably sent his kids home with big old packet first day of school. I bet
I remember them getting that big old packet.
he probably told them no chocolate milk, no strawberry milk, just
You
regular
gotta you
milk.
gotta bring this for the teacher. He
Yeah.
wants this. He wants that new mug, coffee, all this type of stuff. But yeah, the fancy stuff, real quick. Yeah, we got to get that situated. Um, I think I finished third or fourth, if I'm not mistaken, in last year's.
Hmm.
But that's why I say, at least for me, I don't know everybody else how they play fantasy.
Yeah.
You wait till like maybe the last week as possible before the regular season because all these teams they play, and next thing you know, somebody gets hurt or somebody gets hurt in practice, and kind of like screws up your
Man,
whole fantasy
that's kind
lineup
of
already.
what happened to me last year too. I mean, a lot of my guys got injured, so like, I mean, kind of trash.
I tried giving you a trade option last
Yeah,
year.
I
You just
remember you
didn't you
kept
didn't
trying
want to
to.
take it. I
Yeah,
tried
you
getting
kept trying to
Marvin
give me,
Harrison
but
and at least McConkey from you, but you
hey, I ain't gonna lie, but McConkey he's a tough one. Like that one, like now if you look at him on like where people wanted to draft him, they have him like pretty much like top 15
yeah, you've been studying, I see then.
for sure.
Doing a little bit of research, I see. I
Man,
see you
you
stepping
about to
up.
chat GBT or what?
Nah, that's not me, that's Ant.
Is that the
Anyway,
meta?
this is a baseball podcast, so we're not going to be talking about fantasy football. We are not your source for
Mhm.
who to pick in your first round. Usually, it's either running back or receiver, but that's just me. Other than that, let's talk about what we're going to be talking about. Recap of that Red Sox series. That was a huge series for the Astros to get, but it did come with an end out of it with Josh Hader being out for some time, lands on the IL, and there's not enough certainty of how long he's going to be on the IL. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Preview the Orioles, Astros injury updates, and if we can have a little bit of time, maybe some around the horn. Stemo, you want to give it a try. This is usually Angel's thing, but you want to try to give it a try. Where people can find us on social media, YouTube. No? All
Nah, no.
right, I got you. Full Steam Ahead on Twitter, X, whatever you like to call that app, as well as on TikTok, FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram, or the gram as kids like to call it these days. And on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hall of Fame weekend is here. We are going to try our best to get some interviews from some of the Astros Hall of Famers out there. That should be an awesome weekend, especially with number 13 going in the rafters of Billy Wagner getting his number inducted and celebrating his Hall of Fame. So if you want to see more of that, and like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell so you won't miss these interviews, the reels, and all this good stuff. And if you don't happen to want to see us on live right now or just seeing our beautiful faces on YouTube, make sure you go to Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can hear our lovely voices. Rate, subscribe, like, feedback, everything like that. We really appreciate all the love and support. But Stephon, let's get this episode started. Astros are 68 and 53, first in the American League West. It was a little iffy about that in the beginning because the Mariners, like we talked about in the last episode, they just been playing hot baseball. Oh, excuse me, has something in my throat. Anyway, hot baseball as of late. And the Astros were able to regain that first in the American League West. They're right now a game and a half in front of the Seattle Mariners, thanks to the competition that the Astros are going to be seeing this weekend, the Baltimore Orioles. They were able to take them last two games from the Mariners. And like we said, I mean, this is going to be always coming to the end, always either in the beginning to late September. The Astros have to continue putting the foot on the gas, especially with all these injuries piled up. And I mean, they just done a really good job this whole season doing it, but they got to really pound it down and finish strong so they can be able to declare the American League West Division champs. And not just that, possibly get that number 2 seed of the American League because last year they got the number 3, and you saw how that had happened.
Well, good thing that the Orioles were able to hold back the Mariners just a little bit for us, and we were able to pull out a tough one with the Red Sox in town. You know, the Red Sox being a really tough lineup, really tough team. They just find a way to get runners on base, get stuff. They cause a lot of drama, honestly, whenever you're in a series with them. And their pitching starters are pretty good. They get you in the game, and they could take you pretty deep, some of the guys, and don't be surprised. I mean, luckily, the Astros were able to kind of get to cross shape pretty good.
Yeah, like we had talked about this, and if you listen to our podcast episodes, we always give that pitching preview, but we always talk about at the end of that preview, like how important this series is for Houston. And really for this one against the Red Sox specifically, I mean, you went to Fenway Park and you got swept by them. And in this series, you needed to find a way to either try to, reprogram that back and get another sweep against the Red Sox or try to win the series. And sure enough, they were able to win the series because that team's a very competitive and tough team. That's a team that you really do not want to play in October, especially if they are in the wild card. You've seen this trend as of late from the National League to the American League. Once you get into that wild card position, anything can go. You saw it with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Washington Nationals, the Atlanta Braves. I mean, we could go with the Texas Rangers from 23. You saw how Detroit planned out last year. They were very close to making to the American League Championship Series. So as long as you get your ticket punched into this postseason, anything can happen. And the hottest team usually goes out there, plays competitive baseball, plays clean baseball as well, and see them usually in the CS or the World Series. And like I said, this is a team that you do not want to face when it comes to the postseason matchup.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's going to be some pretty tough teams out there this year in postseason, and some great baseball for baseball fans. There's going to be some really good matchups. Probably some down to the wire series in the wild cards or first rounders and stuff. But hey, I'm here for it. One thing I did want to bring up was about Roman Anthony. Man, he's starting to like show out for that team, and especially against the Astros, he does damn well. I mean, the one game I think he had like 4 walks and then he has a homer or something like that. But he's throwing himself in the big crowd names already. I seen the stats supposedly saying he has the highest. He's the fourth highest OBP through first 52 career games, age 21 or younger, with the names of Willie McCovey, 429 in 1959, Albert Pujols, 416 in 2001, Juan Soto, yes, Juan Soto, 413 in 2018, and Roman Anthony, 406 in 2025. So that kid's on one, dude.
I mean, he was rated the number 1 or number 2 prospect, if I'm not mistaken, through MLB Pipeline, and it's for a reason. And this kid shows like he's the future of the Red Sox. He even signed an extension with them to be there for a good while, if I'm not mistaken, until like 2032, 2034, around that time. I mean, the Red Sox, if you see their talent from future standpoint, Rafaela signed Christian Campbell. Of course, he's in AAA right now, but he signed for a long while. Garrett Crochet. I mean, the list goes on. They're really set for their future. And one guy that they're just missing is Marcelo Meyer. So that could be another one too, coming soon, at least to get an extension. But Roman Anthony, I mean, the kid's the real deal. He is the real deal. He has all the 5 tools as well. I think a lot of Astro fans were excited to see Alex Bregman, but I think they got tired of it after that first at
Yeah,
bat. So
that's that bet.
real quick, let's go through game 1. And not to mention, too, we didn't even get to say this in the beginning. The Red Sox outscored the Astros 21-12. So Houston did something good, at least in that series. Of course, the offense wasn't there in game 2. You saw how that transpired, but they were able to get the series win. And we'll start with game 1 with that dub being 7-6. And on the mound for the Astros, Christian Javier, a name we haven't seen in a great while, like Angel had mentioned, hadn't pitched since April of last season. And my gosh, he went back into the friendly homes of Dawkins Park and settled in and felt like he was just right there in his habitat. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 85 pitches were thrown. 53 of them were strikes. In the first time through the order, he was a little shaky. We'll say that. But other than that, take away that part, take away of course, like I had mentioned, Alex Bergman hitting his first home run back at Dawkins Park. Take away all of that. Javier pitched a really damn good game. Everything was there. He even installed a new pitch in his arsenal with that sinker. I'm very excited to see how much and how many times he be throwing that ball in his arsenal. But other than that, I mean, El Reptile look fabulous on the bump.
Yeah, Javi did a perfect example. He set the tone pretty well for himself, coming back off the IL and coming back from rehab. And that's a very, very good sign from somebody like that because, I mean, you see Eric Getty, he's still kind of struggling to find his groove. And, you know, he will find his groove. But Javi, to be able to get back and jump on yourself like that, that's a very good sign. And, I mean, the next start could be even better. He did pretty well this one, besides the Alex Bregman home run. But you could bet Alex Bregman was just eager to go yard being back at the Crawford box because I seen something that people thought that him being at Fenway was going to benefit his career, but I believe so far this season his stats are better on the road away from Fenway
Ooh,
than being at Fenway. So Bregman was just ready to feel back at home, and I seen as soon as he hopped off the flight, they said that he went straight to Whataburger. I was like, oh
and
yeah,
went home.
he's like, I got to get back into the zone over here back in Houston. So he's like, I had to go to Whataburger, and you know, I mean, that probably what led to him going yard.
The power of Waterbury, you can't go wrong with. I forgot what his order was. Chandler had put it on the tweet that whatever he had gotten when he got into town. But home games, you are correct, Steban. At Fenway Park, he has a batting average of 279. I'll just say the slash line 381 and 485 with the OPS. I mean, still damn good, 866. But being on the road warrior like he was with Houston and that whole team, just Houston in general was a road warrior team. Slash line of 316, 377, 592 slug, and an OPS almost close to 1,000, which is at a 969. So, yeah, Bregman doing a really good job on the road. Of course, the splits at Fenway Park is really well too. But other than that, I mean, he made his name heard of again, and of course, he heard it after the second at bat coming up to the batter's box.
Start getting booed, yeah.
Everybody started booing him. I'm pretty sure he was a little shocked about that.
Yeah,
But
but
I
what do
mean,
you expect?
who said it best when man, who said it? There was a quote that they don't boo nobodies. I don't know
Yeah.
who had said it, but it's of course well known in the
I
sports
mean,
world.
you know who always got booed as well? Every time, Albert Pujols. No matter where
Oh,
he
of
was,
course.
he always got booed.
I know that for Houston for a fact, just for, of course, the '04 NLCS hitting that
Mhm.
home run, crushing the Astros fans' dreams of seeing a World Series in '04. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
Astros and Red Sox. Um, but yeah, I mean, seeing Alex Bregman back in a different uniform, I'm glad he was able to get a standing ovation. I'm glad the fans were able to respect what he did in the Houston Astros uniform. I mean, 9 years putting himself in franchise history, at least in top five in a lot of categories. Brought two championships back to Houston, runner-up MVP in 2019. I mean, the list goes on. Really a good postseason hitter as well, and that's another factor why you do not want to see the Red Sox in the postseason because you got a guy like Alex Bregman that can lead the charge for that team. Um, but yeah, good thing on Houston fans able to show him some love on his return. And you know who also got some love? That was Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa's first
oh,
game back too in H Town, and he got a standing ovation. I think he played. I know you know that song. I'm coming home. It's like
mhm.
it's I'm coming home, coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's the one from the Fast and the Furious. No, I think they use it in Fast. It's one of those movies. I see. I remember I heard it in
let's
those
see you
stories.
again. That's see you again. It has
I
to
know.
be.
I mean, I heard it in a movie though, for sure though.
Anyway, he did play that song as his walk-up song. He's ecstatic to be back. But Carlos Correa, the first at bat didn't go as planned, but he got his opportunity in his next at bat and put the Astros on the board with a RBI single to the right side. Next thing you know, Christian Walker comes up with a 2-out, 2-run double to center. One hops the wall. Chas McCormick, we haven't heard that name in a while. We haven't said that name in a while in our recaps. So seeing him be able to put up a 2-run shot to the Crawford box. I mean, that thing was a moonshot
Bet you that
for his
felt really
first
good
home
for him,
run.
man.
Yeah, especially first home run of the season for him. And hadn't hit one since last season, August.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
was very due for Chazzy Fizz to get back on the board and a sleeper. And then I had talked about this at least for me on my tweet. Ramon Urias, of course, he's
Oh yeah,
well known for
player
his
of the game.
versatility. Yeah, in the infield, he can play second, play short, play third. He can play wherever you put him in the infield. Gold Glover for a reason. He decided to throw out some power and hit his first home run as an Astro to the Crawford boxes with the 2-run shot and finished the game 3 for 4. Like you said, this guy was the player of the game, 3 for 4, and was a triple shy of the cycle. So that would have been cool if he, first game at Dyken Park in Astros uniform, wearing the City Connect, not to mention as well,
Mm-hmm.
could have hit a triple. That would put your name in some history books, I'm guessing.
401 feet, 401 feet, 104.2 off the bat for
Yes.
uh for Ramon Urias.
Uh-huh.
Let's see what Chaz had.
And when
Chaz,
when Stefan's looking at this, not to mention this all came from Garrow Crochet, except I think the
Chaz was off of Garrett
off of
Crochet as well.
Jazz,
Yeah,
yeah.
Chaz was
But
393, no doubter, 104.5 off the bat.
yeah, so I think Ramon Urias was, I want to say it was Jordan Hicks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
He hit the
Urias was
home run
Jordan
off.
Hicks,
Yes.
which
So
Jordan Hicks was somebody that the Giants tried to make better because he was a bullpen piece and who tried to make him a starter as well. I think the Cardinals didn't, right?
yeah, so Cardinals, he was a bullpen guy. He was their
Okay,
closer.
it's
And
the
then went
opposite
to
then.
San Fran. Yeah, he went to San Fran, and that's when the Giants kind of started experimenting with him as a starter. I mean, it kind of did really good for him,
For
but
a
then
little bit,
again,
but not so
yeah,
much.
it didn't really last long for him. But like I had mentioned, against Garrett Crochet, who is really on top of the leaderboards for the American League Cy Young, not to mention, I think that is a really great job by that Astros offense.
And that's somebody that I mean they call the workhorse, and
The War
I
Pig,
mean
baby.
that's their guy.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really their ace of that team. And the Astros were able, they didn't get to see him the first time around at Fenway because they gave him a day off. But now they got to see him. They got to see Dustin May too. They saw Chris Will, if I'm not mistaken. They saw him. They saw Walker Buehler twice. So it's a good feel for both teams seeing some of these starters. I mean, the Red Sox didn't see
You
Christian
could
Javier.
you could bet Crochet was happy to get up out of the White Sox organization because to be able to play for a team that's actually playing for something is a way better feeling than just playing a play because your stats are good and sometimes you get overlooked for being on a crappy team that's not really playing for nothing. And Garrett Crochet also is doing phenomenal, like you said, 13-5 record, 248 ERA, 188 strikeouts, and a 110 WHIP. So yeah, that's their guy.
Yeah, this guy's gonna get Cy Young votes. And I talked to Corey Lee I think 2 seasons ago, if I'm not mistaken, when he was with the White Sox anyway, still. And he said this guy is electric. He has electric stuff. He's really good getting his game planning together and everything like that. So hearing it from him, of course, he played with the Astros for that little bit of time and then got traded to the White Sox. But yeah, Crochet's the real deal, and he deserved to get paid. And like I said, the Red Sox were able to get an extension done with him to be in Boston for a good while, and really they got their ace for the whole, probably all the way till 2030, if I'm not mistaken. So good thing for the Red Sox.
One thing I wanted to bring up real quick too: Christian Walker OPS by month: April 697, May 627, June 646, July 833, and August 969.
And we told y'all, we said it from the get go. You got to be patient with this guy. I mean, he was hitting into some bad luck. The exit velocity was great. It
New
was
team.
literally at somebody. It was a line drive to the outfield or to the infield, one hopper to the infield, and they made a good play. I mean, it's just one of them things. It's just baseball for you. And now you're seeing it fall down. Like that ball that he hit to center, Jesus, that was a one hopper where I, I think the Veritech sign, if I'm not mistaken, is still there. It was literally just right there. So he still got the pop. And like I mentioned the last one, the 84 RBIs from last season, this season he's gonna break that. I just see it. I don't know. Do you have his RBIs right in
His
front of you
RBIs as of right now
as of right now? If you
is
don't have it,
I believe he's in the sixth. He's our leader. Let me see, Christian
he's at
Walker.
65 right now.
Yeah, which I believe he's leading the team.
More than likely. Yeah, it has to be. But with him, and that's a good sign that he's getting going. Of course, the swing and miss stuff is still
Dude,
there.
and then
Strikeouts
the
are gonna
glove
be
is just amazing. It's just is showing out a lot, and that's what you're gonna need. Somebody that's gonna be able to be a good clutch hitter in the postseason and be able to get those balls that just get smoked down the line, or the ones that just give your pitcher a chance. The ones that are just barely poked in the little holes that usually just get barely into that grass.
But that's what we said. Like the Astros, of course, signed Christian Walker for both being defensively and offensively, but the strength of his game is his defense. He's a three-time Gold Glover for a reason. Plays really good first base. Has a great IQ at that position as well. So if he doesn't do really too high in the offensive category, well, you still got his glove at first base, and that's where the Astros really need it because from 22 with that Yuli Gurriel season in 2022 when they won the World Series, the reason why that season was so great is because Gurriel was a Gold Glove first baseman. He know how to play the position very well. And then for them 2 years, of course, you had the Jose Abreu stint, you had the John Singleton stint, you even put Victor Caratini, Yiner Diaz, and Mauricio Dubon as a platoon at first base. And Houston really needed, going into this past offseason, they needed a first baseman. And sure enough, Christian Walker was on their radar, and they were able to get him signed into an Astros uniform. And in my opinion, I think this has been a good pickup. I do not see Houston needing to trade him when it comes to the offseason and the baseball winter meetings because, of course, we're going to have this dilemma of where you're going to put Carlos Correa, where you're going to put Isaac Paredes. And I know a lot of Astro fans have mentioned in social media about trade Christian Walker, transition Paredes to first base. We could see that, but is that going to pay off for the long run for
Because we're still gonna
you?
need an actual first baseman.
Yeah.
Just because transition to first base is not gonna be easy. You're gonna boot a ball. You're gonna have an error. You're gonna accidentally misplay a throw or something. It just happens. It's baseball. But Christian is doing well. He's doing really well with the organization as well. You can see that him and the guys are clicking together now, and I bet you that has something to do with Carlos Correa just kind of gathering the bunch together, making everybody be energetic because Correa is always that guy that wants everybody to be energetic, to be talking or to be relaying to each other, just working, being teammates.
Yeah, not to mention too, you made a good point with Carlos Correa and bringing his leadership style. I mean, that was what Houston hadn't heard about him in Arizona in that clubhouse over there. Of course, Perez Chico being one of them, being the coach has been there for a while with him. The leadership was a big reason why Houston had brought him too. So a good leader, vocal leader on the infield, pretty sure in the clubhouse as well. But having two guys that can lead the charge vocally, I mean, that's pretty damn good to say. But real quick to end the game one recap, shaky bullpen. I mean, Houston had a 7-2 lead going into the seventh inning, and it felt pretty damn good if you're a Nationals fan. You're like, okay, this should be done. There's no way in hell the Boston Red Sox are going to come back. Hector Neris, congratulations on his 10 years of MLB service. I know that's a very big milestone for these guys. But I mean, he had two outs, and next thing you know, allowed a home run to Abraham Toro, which is another guy. I just think he just thrives against Houston all the
Ex
damn time.
Astro, yeah, ex
Ex
Astro.
Astro hitting a home run with the Mariners, hitting a home run with the A's, and now you're seeing it in the Boston Red Sox uniform. So he had a home run. Masataka Yoshida RBI double. Joe Spada gets the ball from Neris, brings in Stephen O'Kurt. What I thought, in my opinion, you should have brought O'Kurt for that Yoshida matchup, but is what it is. O'Kurt comes in to place Roman Anthony. And like Steban said, that kid's the real deal and gave up a 2-run homer to him. Luckily, that was it. Astros will get Benassouza to shut the door because Josh Hader wasn't available, which we're going to talk here in a sec after we finish our recap, and would pick up the save for his fourth one this season. So.
But let's move on to game two here. The Astros were not victorious. They lost 14-1. Yes, 14-1, which is crazy. It sounds crazy, but it is what it is. The bullpen was a little shaky. Spencer Arrighetti, his second start back, he did go 5 innings pitched. He only allowed one hit, but that one hit resulted in 2 earned runs as well with 5 walks. So the command was a little off, a little shaky, but that's where, Arrighetti, by the time the third, fourth start, I think he should be back in control with his command. But like Zoe predicted, it was going to be a pretty good outing for Arrighetti against the Red Sox, which he performs pretty well. And I'll take this starting for a second start back minus the walks, when 3 strikeouts. I mean, it's pretty well for me. 88 pitches, 51 strikes. So, the command was a little off. 4 swings and misses were produced. Um, Offensively, Yiner just scores on a force out. And hear me out. Who do you think this stat line is? 1 inning pitch, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 0 Ks, 1 walk with an 18.0 ERA.
Has to be Chas McCormick.
Yeah, Chas
Lights out.
McCormick. Yeah,
Hit
Chas
the home.
McCormick got some garbage time to this game. So that was a little. That was. I guess that was kind of like a little highlight for the fans to be like, "Oh, look at Chas come in." That's fun. That's kind of funny because honestly,
A lot of applause in the back for him being the brave one to come out of the Astros dugout and pitch that.
I thought it would be Dubon, but I mean, Chaz came in, and I forgot he's a lefty, so it's funny. And he was able to get up to about 82, I believe. So
Yeah,
trying to
80,
blow by him.
80 mile. I think it was the at bat against Alex Bregman. You saw Bregman; he couldn't even take that at bat serious. He was just smiling and laughing at
I
McCormick.
wouldn't either, bro. I probably would have bunted.
I agree, though that would have been a good one for Dubon because, of course, being the utility guy,
Yeah, that's something you can take off of his list.
yeah, he's not going to be behind the plate, obviously, but
Yeah.
putting him on the mound. But at the same time, too, the Astros are dealing with a bunch of injuries. I think, yeah, Joe Spada wouldn't have allowed that. I think if Houston didn't have so many injuries, then maybe question mark. But other than that, that's probably the reason why they put him out there.
But the one that really, really struggled this game, and we thought the Astros, I mean, we thought it was going to benefit, and it's kind of a good sign that the Astros threw him out here just to test out, see how he'll come out in the middle relief. Colton Gordon, 2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, and a home run allowed. So it looks like he might have not been comfortable coming in like the middle row. Maybe he's better off as a starter role, but Astros were um, sending him back down after this start as well,
Yeah, they needed some guy to
just to eat something.
eat some innings, and for Colton, he was in that end of it. But like I mean, coming from a starting mentality to a bullpen, in a relief role, and them are two different preparations. They prepare different ways. Of course, in the starter, you have your whole routine, and the bullpen too. I'm pretty sure if you ask some of these relievers, they have their own routine when they go out there. It's like telling Brian Abreu or Stephen Oker, which Oker did start a game for the Astros in Miami, not to mention to do this and to do that. Their whole preparation, their mental state too, could be
Yeah, they're
different than
pretty
everyone.
superstitious. They're maniacs. Pitchers compared to like batters and fielders. I feel like pitchers are just psychos because that's all they think about. Like it's just making you swing and miss.
Yeah, and going back to that Eric Getty start, not a bad one. Like you said, the 5 walks, yes, that can be better. The command was a little off, but for him to get back on 88 pitches, that's good. The velocity was still there for him. That's another great sign. The biggest concern for me is the swing and misses. I mean, 4 swing and misses, that's not where you want to be, and that's where it comes to play with command. Command, if your command's on point, you're going to get some of these swing and misses, which equals the strikeout rate. This is a guy that had a great strikeout per 9 innings last season for the Astros, and especially in his rookie season. He did a really good job. And as of right now, like I said, it's just too early to tell. Just a second start back. Of course, you want to get that back on track for Eric Getty. I know he wants to get back on there, but like you said, Stamon, a good little second start back for him on his after his IL stint.
And then the next team that he's going to be facing is going to be a little more of a test for him against the Detroit Tigers as well.
Yeah, man,
So
that's a huge test. But I think you would rather have your test against these teams that you're going
yeah,
to see.
because these teams are going to sharpen your iron. They're going to
Exactly.
make you or break you. So,
I agree. I agree with you.
but let's go ahead and forget about this game. The Astros were able to win the series against the Red Sox, which they were victorious on Game 3, 4-1. Hunter Brown went out and did the job. The Diesel as well, like he's always going to do. The Astros workhorse right here. It's good to see him getting back on track because that month of July was just terrible for Hunter, and he's got to get that over with. Hunter Brown, 6.2 innings pitched, 6 hits. He was getting touched a little bit. 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 4 Ks. And Hunter did not want to come out that game. He was
No,
pretty mad. He was pretty mad that he wasn't able to finish it off. But hey, you know what I mean? You can't go against what what your coach wants. So
You could at times, but
yeah,
of course,
sometimes you could, but
we
I mean, a lot of times you sometimes you get the bad end of it, and then it just looks bad on you.
we see the updates every time we get them, and I know the Astros injury update pile just continues to go on, and I think then not Dana Brown, but Joe Spot does not want to see his name on that list, especially for him being in Cy Young contention and being a workhorse for this rotation.
Yes, sir. Hunter Brown threw 96 pitches, 56 of them were strikes. So I mean, he was a little bit all over the place. But only with 3 walks, you expect that he'd have more walks with not throwing as much strikes, but he minimized that. This is 3 straight quality starts for the Diesel. And a little stat I want to throw out there: Hunter Brown versus righties this so far since 2022, he was allowing average of 310 in 2022, 276 in 2023, 279 in 2024, and this season 205. Opponents slugging 414 in 2022, 498 in 2023, and 24, 377, and this season 290. So Hunter has cut back a lot against righties, which that sinker has just been rolling out on everybody, breaking bats, jamming up, popping up. That's exactly what Hunter needed in Arsenal, and is glad that it's showing out. And he dang well he loved that he had pretty good at bats as well against Bregman.
Yeah, you know who helped him with that? Alex Bregman.
Alex Bregman, yeah, Alex Bregman, as funny as it sounds, that was one of Hunter's pitcherman guys that keep him in line.
Yeah, he went to Altuve, asked him, "Hey, what do I need to do? Or can you hit off me?" Kind of thing. Same
Hmm.
goes for Bregman. Bregman gave him a new pitch to look into. I think Ryan Presley too, if I'm not mistaken, had put his um,
Input.
input on it as well. So seeing that pitch and having so much success with it is why he's like in a Cy Young candidate. I mean, at least for me, he's probably right now top five. If he continues this trend and how he was in the beginning of this first half of the season, he can really end up in top three Cy Young Award voting.
Yeah, hopefully you keep it up because that'll be pretty cool to have somebody out there for the Astros get a Cy Young. It's been a
Because
while. It's
the
been a while. Was
Astros,
it quite
yeah,
cool?
no, it was Justin Verlander.
Oh, okay, Vernon. Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think Verlander had won it twice with Houston,
yeah, he
but
did.
Keiko was the last one after really before him in
Verlander, before
2018.
Verlander. Yeah. And then Brian Abreu closes the door for his first save of the season. But one thing real quick that I wanted to bring up: Hunter Brown and Framber at home, 131.2 innings pitched, 1.98 ERA, and an opponent average of 189 with a total of 154 strikeouts. Best duo in the MLB.
Oh, this is a hot take, or is it that that's your?
No, it is.
you-
It's
It is.
actually
Oh,
best
it is
duo in
the
the MLB.
best. Okay, I thought you were saying that like this is the best 1-2 duel in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, it is best duo in MLB. I believe it's probably the strikeouts best duo wise.
But do
Or
you feel
maybe
confident that this
it can be.
1-2 punch is
Yeah,
the
for
best
sure.
duel in MLB?
If Framber is on his money and he's not having a rough one and it went against himself, and whenever he's just playing the game against the team and not against himself and the team, then yeah, he's lights out. And then Hunter Brown as well, he's always up there sharp. He tends to not really let stuff get to his head anymore.
I agree. I mean, this is a good 1-2 punch that you would want to have
And
on.
then these are guys that you're possibly going to see them going 7 towards the end of the season in those late games that the Astros need to win.
Yeah,
Shoot, probably complete game again for Framber. I mean, Framber is real known for complete games.
yeah, and you're right. But Framber too has been struggling as of late,
Yeah,
and the Astros really need him to get back on track so he can be ready for the postseason. Right? I mean, these past two postseasons, he hasn't really shown the Framber Valdez that he was in 2022 in that
yeah.
postseason.
And then I hope nothing with free agency gets in his head either that starts to mess with him about that he's gonna have to deal with that after the season. Hope that's not like, oh, I'm not gonna try to put my body too much on the line, because I might be not here no more. Just random little things come into play.
Yeah, but you can't have that happen to you, especially in a postseason matchup against a team that has horses on their end, like for instance, the Texas Rangers. If you go against Nathan Uvalde and Jacob DeGrom, you better bring your best stuff. If you go on the other end with Seattle, you with Luis Castillo and Logan Gilbert. You can go even in Detroit with Tariq Skubal, and I know there's a kid out there, Tyler Holton, that's been pitching really good for them. So I mean, Boston, you can say the same shit with Garrett Crochet and Lucas Giolito. So you have to do what's best for yourself. You got to pitch your real good game, and you got to get out of that mental standpoint, like you were saying, because once you get into your head, man, it's gonna be a long, long game for you.
Yeah, it
But
could become a walkathon.
yeah, it could be a walkathon. Not just that, but you could just leave stuff right down the middle, and let the
Yep.
other team just hammer on. But if you're the Astros, you and especially fans, you're really hoping for Framber to figure it out that we're in August 14 on a Thursday night at 11 o'clock p.m. in Houston, Texas, right now, then during the postseason, if the Astros even make the postseason as well.
Yeah, and then real quick before we go on the offense, Hunter Brown's game plan, they really transitioned differently this game, and that's good because against August 1st, the fourth team he threw 46% against them, and this start 35%. The sinker he threw 22% the first matchup, 17 this time. The cutter 9 this time 8. Knuckle curve was the one that he threw a lot more because the first time it was 9%. This start 28%. So he definitely laid on that knuckle curve a little more this start, which it was pretty good. I mean, Bregman couldn't even hit it either when Hunter threw it at him.
Yeah, and I mean, you go from a sinker to a knuckle curve. That's pretty damn. That's a hard difference to figure out with the different velocities on their speed. But for him having a better game plan against Boston, of course, his last start was against the Red Sox. He had an well, no, it wasn't against the Red Sox. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, like his last start against Boston, he had to change up a little bit of things. Of course, the pitching coaches go out there. Yonder Diaz goes out there. They figure out a game plan. What was good, what was bad, what needs to be worked on, what locations need to be better in each spot and in each scenario. That's the thing I love about with pitchers and catchers when they have to deal with their game plans, try to figure out what's best, what the catcher sees, because the catcher too being behind the plate, he sees the whole game and he's
Mm-hmm.
catching you every start. He gets to tell you his input and say, "Hey, this pitch right here has been working for you a little bit more better than this pitch right here."
Or don't
So
throw this one. It's not moving that much. It looks flat today.
exactly, like and before you go into your actual game start, they have a little bullpen, like maybe a 20 pitch, 10 pitch bullpen.
Yeah, and they
And
see
right
like,
there,
oh, you're not gripping your changeup good today. They're gonna tell you, hey, like you all right. Your grip not there. Kind of lay off of it a little bit.
yeah. So that's what you love with the pitcher and catcher with that type of battery duel. And then Geiner and Hunter have been doing this in Sugarland, not to mention. So
I wonder if Yonder messes with batters because I mean I remember when you play like you always had those one like annoying little catchers that just tell you all kinds of dumb things like oh fastball's coming or you're not gonna hit it or just random little things. You know what I mean? Like
you're going back to your little league days now. Come on.
nah, not little league days, but I mean people do that in general. I mean I'm like there's a lot of catchers that are real active like that, and talkative.
And in the majors,
Yeah, in the majors,
give me one catcher.
Francisco Alvarez talking crap. He talks crap to a lot of his guys, not just his guys, the opponents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you got to find a way to get them out of their groove. Got to get them out
Yeah,
of
that's
their
what I'm saying. Just be a mental game. You know what I mean?
get them out of their head, baby.
Yes, sir. But
Baseball for you.
let's go to the offense now. Jeremy Pena lead off home run, which he smoked this ball. It was 13 home runs to the season, 103.7 off the bat, 358 feet, 4.2 seconds off the bat into the seats.
And this was a game too with Callis and Blum in the Crawford boxes.
Yeah, they're in the
That
Crawford
was pretty
boxes.
damn cool.
Yeah, it was a cool little shout out there. All excited, you know what I mean? Seeing that ball go towards them.
That would have been something. Of course, the Astros being able to come up in the first inning, Jerry Pena being the leadoff guy, hits a home run, goes into Jeff Blum or Todd Callis's glove. You can't write nothing better than that. That would have been fun.
Yeah, most definitely. And then the guy that everybody's been needing to step it up has been stepping it up as of late, Yainer Diaz, which was pretty much the player of this game. RBI single to left, and then he comes right back up and 2 run shot in the sixth to extend the lead and blow it wide open. This one was his 17th home run of the season. 3 RBI night, 415 feet, 104.9 off the bat. Carlos Correa did get a rest. This was his first rest day after 11 consecutive starts with the Astros. And Jeremy Pena is the MLB batting average leader at home. And
He'll
then
have that number.
also, and then also, he's the highest average batting leader at leadoff, minimum 250 plate appearances at 343. Behind him, Xavier Edwards 305, Otani at 288, Trey Turner 280, and Stephen Kwan 276. You're muted, Joe.
My fault. Yeah. Oh my god, and Duncan Parker did not see this coming. 360 is his batting average in
At home,
Houston,
it's
Texas.
crazy.
That
Yeah,
is insane. I did
yeah,
not
dude,
know that was gonna
he's
happen.
been doing really well this year.
Has 7 home runs, 22 RBIs, almost the same as being away. 6 home runs, 23 RBIs. The OPS, my God, slash line 360, 414, 545. OPS is almost 1,002 with a 959. If you would have told me this back in 23 or even last season that Jeremy Pena, well, I did predict that Jeremy Pena
Be a
last
bounce back season.
24. I think 24 had predicted in the beginning of the season that Pena was going to be a 300 hitter, and people laughed at me.
I mean, this had. I mean, he knew what was on the table this season. Like he knew that if he had another struggle year, that maybe the Astros are going to start playing with him and start moving him around, maybe, or
Well,
you know,
how the turntables have turned, like the great Michael Scott said on The Office, because now he has Scott Boras representing him in Houston.
yeah. Now he's going to probably leave us.
Yeah, now Houston could potentially be out of luck of trying to reach an or negotiate a contract
Like, 'cause
dispute.
if he keeps this up, best believe a lot of people are going to want him. And then,
Oh yeah,
honest, and honestly, I'm pretty sure what team that would probably want him so much because their shortstop's not really all that. Yankees.
damn. I see. I can see that. I can see that.
I could see them going for
That's
him
good.
and
I
him
can see
going to
that
New
too.
York because I mean he's one of those players that he likes the city life too. So I mean the
Yeah,
bigger city for him,
he's from Maine as well. Went to the
yeah.
University
So,
of Maine. Well, not from there, but
or Mets.
played college over there. Oh, you got Francisco Lindor,
Oh,
short.
but yeah. You got Lindor. Yeah, I forgot
Okay,
about
you got
Lindor.
your franchise
But
leader
he
over
could play.
there.
He could play second too, Lindor.
That's if Lindor wants that.
Yeah, but
Like I said,
probably would.
that is the captain of that team over there.
Yeah,
I don't know if a captain would want to go from short to second, but of course, we're not going to predict where Jerry Pena goes. That's up to him.
he needs to stay. That's what he
Yeah,
needs to
he's playing a good. He's playing really good this year. Like I said, All Star guy for a reason, and Carlos Correa is
And
enjoying
I think he'll
being on
probably do
both
something
sides.
similar with Altuve as well. Like, I mean, I know he wants to make his bank, but I think he's going to try to make some bread in a team friendly way as well. Because, I mean, you got Correa back, you have Altuve back, you got Paredes,
Let's
you
see
got a.
what he has endorsements with Franklin.
Mhm.
Um, does he have any other endorsements? He can get into fashion. He can
Arandas,
really get into
right?
fashion.
Zacaria Arandas,
That's two. Like,
HEB.
oh, HEB, of course. So that's
I
why.
bet you Bregman misses HEB endorsement because
Oh,
I
of
mean
course.
I don't know what they might have up that way.
Boston. On top of my head, I don't know. He did come out with a beer. If you didn't see
Oh
it with
no,
Samuel
bro.
Adams.
I mean, I have one of his salsa still, like the OG one when it said Brady Bomb still.
Reggae Bomb.
Before I went to the what was it called? What did he change it
Soul.
to? Soul, yeah,
Wild Soul.
yeah, Wild Soul.
Oh yeah, he got a beer with Boston now with Samuel Adams. Collabed with him.
Might have to try it. But anyways, Crawford Box Special is most only in Houston home run since 2016. Mr. Altuve himself with 13, Alex Bregman 10, Kyle Tucker with 5, and Jordan with 4. And those are
Jose
the Crawford
Altuve.
specials. Those are the 1 in 38 ballparks home runs.
Of course, Jose Altuve has that, and he leads the way for Houston on that. But Altuve too has been playing consistent baseball as of late, as well as Yainer Diaz. Last 15 games for him, he's hitting 309, slugging 564, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. This is what the Astros need in this lineup with the big man being hurt right now, and of course, there's going to be some games that Christian Walker leads the way for the offense, and Yainer Diaz doesn't have it. There's times that Yainer takes over. Christian doesn't have it, and then there's times that both of them are in sync and they just play really good baseball, at least in the batter's box.
You know what I want to say about this whole lineup with this whole Astros team right now, especially since we've been injured and especially since after the All Star break, the way there's offense and the way everybody's been carrying each other, like it's like it's kind of like the sometimes me, sometimes you, but always us mentality. The way they're trying to play,
Yeah.
they just get it. And Yainer Diaz, most home runs, Astros catcher franchise history is already fourth on the list with 56, followed by Maldonado 58, Alan Ashby 69, and of course one of the greatest, Jason Castro 71. You frozen or what? I think kind of frozen on my end. There you go. Got
Okay,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm
It's
like,
like,
what the hell
there's a
happened?
glitch in the matrix.
Fuck. But I was gonna ask you though too. Yes, I am frozen. Thank you for telling me, Kevin. Appreciate the shout. Nice seeing you back on the screen. Do you think Yainer Diaz can potentially be the best hitting offensive catcher for the Astros?
Man,
Like,
honestly, yeah, he possibly could home run wise because he's still pretty young in age, and to be at 56 already, and he only has to get to past 71. I mean, it's a doable, manageable number.
It
He's
is,
gonna he's gonna at least hit 15 plus every season basically.
and he has the power. Like
Yeah, he definitely
the
does. He
way
just
you
needs to
see
play
him
discipline.
swing, like the way you see him swing, and we've talked about it numerous times.
That's a
There's
dangerous
one
swing.
swing. It's a dangerous swing, but the swings are like they're everywhere. They're
Yeah,
like you don't know if you're gonna get a home run out of this swing. You don't know if you're gonna get a pop up, a swing and a miss. The
yeah,
at
it's
bats,
crazy because
some
they'll be
at
like, "Oh,
bats
he's
are
gonna pull
great.
it," and all of a sudden, it just like pops it up, and it's like,
Yeah,
"Oh man."
some at bats are great for Yiner, but then there's some at
You know
bats that
what pitch
really
that I
frustrate.
noticed that he really loves are sweepers. Sweepers, and sliders. If they're in the zone and he's not reaching out for them, he tends to pull them.
Not to mention sweepers and sliders, but I mean the beauty of one of these pitches is the high fastball. If he sees that
Yeah.
fastball right in the high part of the plate, Jesus, he's gonna go chase it and he's gonna try to go yard with it.
Who doesn't love a high fastball though? Just like that eyesight area that it doesn't look too fast.
And you do not want to see a rising fastball like
Yeah,
Mr. Christian
no,
Javier. El
the
Reptil
heck
has a
no.
rising fastball. So, but yeah, this offense has done a really good job, and we can go over with our overall thoughts
Man,
real
and
quick.
then somebody that I wanted to say that was kind of throwing a little slug, Dustin May on his after his little start, he was like he put on his post boys were banging.
Come on,
Yeah, I was
come on,
like come
come
on,
on.
really? And then he's a Texas boy too. That's kind of whack.
That's funny though.
Yeah,
Come on, you already know.
yeah,
The former Dodger over there, but
yeah.
he really shouldn't have no input because he wasn't even at that time,
And then you got
2017.
Bregman on your team, so you kind of look stupid.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's an interesting post. Of course,
Yeah,
if you tell him that, he's not going to tell you the full context.
yeah, for sure.
All right, overall thoughts real quick. Great starting pitching this series for the Astros, and I think that was a big reason why that even though Boston outscored Houston, of course, Game 2 was because I would say a lot of the bullpen, and you can even say for Game 1, but you had two guys, one being his first game back, the other one having his second game start, which is his second game back, really. And then, of course, the Diesel is the Diesel. Hunter Brown's Hunter Brown, and them three did a really good job coming into Houston, especially in a big series like against Boston with a good lineup that consists of Alex Bregman, Roman Anthony, we talked about,
And they've been pretty hot. That
guys
lineup.
like Wilyer Abreu, Sadon Rafaela, not to mention those type of guys too. Them are Wilyer Abreu is a really good offensive hitter. That was an Astros prospect, not to mention if you
Sedane
don't
as well.
remember me.
That dude just is annoying. Like he just like, especially when there's runners on base, like he just knows how to hit the ball.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that scrappy hitting. I'd
Really,
like to
their
call
whole
it.
lineup because they seem to be really well at the situational hitting.
Yeah, and you know who's on that other side of it? Alex Cora. Alex Cora is a really good manager. I know a lot of Astro fans gave him a lot of shit
Who
for
got ejected third game
he
too?
did get yeah he did get ejected for
He was mad about Hunter Brown. I think thinking that Hunter Brown because Hunter Brown started the inning against that batter with the runner with Duran at third. Yeah, from wind up and then went to
the
the
wind
stretch.
up, and then the next pitch he went to stretch. You gotta
You got to
tell them.
acknowledge the umpire, but I think they said the umpire did not acknowledge it first, so Hunter Brown could just went with the flow.
Yeah, great baseball mind over there with Alex Cora. Like I said, gets a lot of crap for 17, but I had the opportunity to interview him. He's a really good baseball, high IQ man. And like we mentioned before, potential postseason rematch. If you're the Houston Astros, you want to try be, I would say, in my opinion, try to stay away from the Red Sox. This is a hot team, and this is the team that you really do not want to see in October. Fenway Park is a
Mhm.
really
Yeah, just
like
because
that's
way
a very chaotic.
yeah, you don't want to be there and then just have one of those games because pretty much there's no outs. You got a runner at second, bro. You pull the ball, hits the wall. That's an RBI.
Yeah, and of course the Astros and the Red Sox have their rivalry, I guess you can say too, from being in 17 all the way to in 21. The Astros were able to eliminate the Red Sox in the CS to go to the World Series. So this could be another chapter into this matchup of the rivalry. But in my opinion, I think my I'd say more of Seattle is another team that I wouldn't want to face.
Seattle.
Rangers you would like to see if you have the opportunity. So
And then honestly, the ones that are kind of starting to make a little name for themselves again, but they always do that thing, and then they do that thing where they just tank again. The Angels,
oh,
which
and
they just
they
which they just
swept.
swept the Dodgers 6-0. Well, in this year's matchups, they're 6-0 against them.
Yeah, they definitely swept the yeah, they swept the Dodgers. They even swept the series, if I'm not mistaken.
And it's funny, MLB didn't even like give them their flowers first. They gave Otani his flowers for his pitching and then for striking out Trout, I believe, in both at bats.
Yeah, they had I think it was 7 straight wins in the Freeway Series, as they called their. You know how Astros have the
Yeah,
Silver Boot Series with the Rangers. Over there, they in LA, they call it the whatchamacallit. I just said it right now. The Freeway Series.
pretty serious. Yeah.
Real quick though, I'll tell you the standings. What teams? You give me your teams that you would rather see Houston face, and I'll throw mine in here in a second. Toronto Blue Jays and Detroit Tigers, as of right now, are tied for the best record in the American League, 71-51. But Toronto has an edge on it because Detroit has 52 losses. Houston is third with 68 and 53, which is really not far behind. That's about 3 games. But of course, Detroit and Toronto are playing good baseball as of late. The wild card: Seattle, Boston, and the New York Yankees. Esteban, give me one team you would rather face and one team you would not want to face.
I would want to face the Yankees for sure because we have good luck sending them home. A team that I possibly would not want to face would possibly be. Hmm. I feel like Red Sox for sure. You don't want to see them, and then you definitely. I feel like we could get the Tigers this time, but the team that's going to be sneaky is going to be the Blue Jays.
You think so?
If their pitching could be okay, which their matchup is.
They-
Scherzer
they're-
was
they-
Scherzer was able to go 8 today though,
let me tell you, their starting pitching right now looks really good. Like you
and
said,
then
Max
they did
Scherzer,
reload on the bullpen.
they did. Max Scherzer, Kevin Gossman, Jose Barrios, and you have a Cy Young guy coming back soon in the name of Shane Bieber.
Oh, dude, I forgot about Bieber from Cleveland.
So
They got him right.
yeah, they traded
Yeah,
for him.
Bieber's really a pretty good guy. He's gonna give you 6 for sure.
So yeah, that's a good starting rotation, and really, in my saying, in my opinion, the way you're going to make it into the postseason and very deep into a World Series run is your pitching. Your
Yeah,
starting and your bullpen is going to be a key factor to determine if you're going to make it deep in the postseason.
for sure. What's your
I'd say I'll go with you with the Yankees as well. I think they're a good team to face easily. I think the Astros could beat them. You saw they already had 1, 2 out of 3 at Yankee Stadium. And I'll even say the Blue Jays, and like you were saying, the Blue Jays and Detroit Tigers. I think the Astros can find ways to beat them teams.
yeah
They swept the Blue Jays already this season. I think they had a record of 5-1 against them, if I'm not mistaken, too, for the whole season, the regular season. So, and them records really matter too. Not to mention Houston hadn't lost the season series against the Red Sox. So if it came to a tiebreaker with them in the wild card, let's say Houston and Boston is fighting for the first and second seed of the wild card, then Boston's going to have the edge because they won the season series. So that goes for the same thing with the Blue Jays. If let's say today the Astros, Tigers, and Blue Jays tied in a not 3 game tie, but a 3 tie for like first,
hmm
then Houston would have the edge because they still have to play Detroit one more time, but they've already beat Detroit 2 out of 3 in their last meeting, and they already had the season series win against the Toronto Blue Jays. So it very does matter when it comes to teams like Detroit, Toronto, Seattle, Boston, New York. It matters because it determines where you're seated in the postseason.
And then Detroit's just like one that like it's fun to see, but it's annoying as well because not only are you seeing the teams battle, but you're seeing these coaches battle. Espada, and then you see Hinch. Hinch is a damn well good
Great
coach.
coach.
He knows how to have bullpen games. He knows what. All right, I'm gonna let this guy go 2-3, and then this guy's gonna eat up
He
4.
did
And
that
then
phenomenally in Game 2 last year,
yeah, that's what I mean. He knows how to set up a game, and that's what wins you ball games as well.
and that's why for me, when it comes to not wanting to face Boston, Alex Cora is a great mind when it comes to these types of situations. But for Seattle too, their rotation is deep. Their
Yeah.
lineup is good. Their bullpen is good too.
And man, Julio's starting to heat up again.
Julio's starting to heat up. You got an AO MVP over there. And the bright side, if you want to see it as an Astros fan, Eugenio Suarez has cooled down,
Yeah.
but that
But
team,
then Josh
Josh
Naylor picks it
Naylor,
up.
Randy Rosarena, I mean, that team is set. That team is a really good offensive team. And of course,
And then
Houston.
and Randy has not been loud, but best believe it. Once it comes to playoff time, that's where
Oh yeah,
Randy's gonna wake up. The energy he
flip
thrives
switch,
off of it. He
flips a
feeds
switch.
off of it. And that outfield's going to be a damn good outfield right there to see in the playoff as well because they're going to be thriving off of energy.
And the Astros too see Cowboy Randy in the 22, not 22, but the 2020 postseason with the race. Of course,
Yeah,
there was no people in attendance, but just imagine the atmosphere if he
he had
had, like you
fans
said, he had
feeling.
fans with the energy. You saw it with the WBC. So
Man, which that's one I just really can't wait for to see USA versus Mexico at Dakin. That's gonna be probably one of the top 5 key moments in my life. I would say because it's just like a cool aspect of well at least sporting wise like sporting events to go to because that's just something that's really cool. The nationalities going at it.
I about to say, don't start crying on me right now. You can
Nah,
cry over there when when they're on the field. But Houston's gonna be playing, and I'm just scrolling down real quick. Shoot, September 15th to the 21st is gonna be crucial at
10
Dodger
game
Park.
10 game stretch, consecutive game stretch, I believe, after the off day.
Yeah, September 15th they start with the Texas Rangers coming into town. That could potentially be a division winner, division, however you want to see it. And then you had a day off. Then the 19th through the 21, you got the Seattle Mariners. That can make you or break you real quick. That can make Houston have a bigger lead in the division, or they can chip away in the division, or they can just see themselves out of the division and look and trying to get to a wild card position. And real quick before you say something, Steban, after that, they travel to Sacramento to play the Athletics, who honestly they've had Houston's number this season.
Yeah, the Athletics is a team that kind of been punking us this year, which is hard, crazy to say that, but yeah, I mean, last year you kind of seen it a little bit. They had games where they give us a tough game, and now this year they grew even more. So we got Astros, regardless who you play, you still have the opportunity to win, or you still have the opportunity to lose. It's a game of baseball. It's a game of chess, basically. It's one move for one move. So, regardless of who it is or what do you think it is, every game they have to fight for, and nothing's given in this league.
Nothing's given, and the Astros are going to have to do that with 7 of their 11 games playing the Baltimore Orioles. So they have to do a good job of handling business right there.
You got
Because if I'm not
Orioles,
mistaken, if I'm not
mistake.
mistaken, the Astros have the easiest schedule from Major League Baseball from all the teams out there. I think the Cubs had posted something from their TV station, the Marquee Network, and it showed who had the easiest schedule remaining. The Cubs is on there for a reason, but the Astros were leading that, being number one. So Houston has to take care of business there. I know they have 2 or 3 games against the Colorado Rockies too, not to mention. So they got to take care of business against them teams because if you don't, then it can really transpire really bad for you in a second.
Yeah, and then it falls out of place with right here where we can move on to the next part. Josh Hader lands on the IL, but for how long? Josh Hader was unavailable out of the bullpen in Monday's contest, despite the score being 7-6. After the game, Joe Espada addressed with the media. Josh Hader was unavailable due to shoulder discomfort. The next day, Hader lands on the IL with a left shoulder strain. Per Brian McTarget, or McTaggart, my bad.
McTaggart.
McTaggart, pardon me. Astros manager Joe Espada said Hader is seeking a second opinion for his shoulder strain, but there's no word on what the first opinion said. This is going to take a little bit longer than 2 weeks, he said, which this is not a good sign with everybody dealing with all these dang injuries. This is the last thing you want with the way that Hader's been playing, having one of his best seasons. This is what you expect, though, from a lot of times that his name had to be called in these close games that these Astros couldn't play enough runs, and it was tough, and you had to bring them in. Like you weren't forced. And then you got bullpen guys where it's like some days they're on, some days you're not, and the one that's really gonna have to step up a lot in this role is gonna be Bennett Souza because the slider's there, the fastball is there. It's got to keep the command there. You just got to keep it away from leaving it on the plate because that's where sometimes he makes mistakes. But besides that, Souza's a pretty good piece that the Astros need, and then you need to figure out maybe if Luis Garcia or Javier or JP France, which JP France is going to be your bullpen guy, but you're still missing that lefty power that you want.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. He has 4 games that he's pitched 2 innings plus. There's a game that he almost pitched the 2 innings. He had an inning and 2/3. And I'm just curious to see how many innings so far has he pitched into this season. It's only been 52 and 2/3. They're more than likely he could have got to 60 if this
Mhm.
injury did not happen. Last year he had 71 innings pitched, and before that 56, 50, 58 and 2/3. So this is the first time he lands on the IL. Not to mention too, it's been a
That's
while since
crazy.
2020 of the pandemic season, and that
And
season,
then,
and maybe it would have been COVID for him to land on the IL.
and then it's kind of like something what do you expect out of somebody that throws so aggressively? So, I mean, it's a lot of movement and winding up to come for his delivery. So it could just be wear and tear. Eventually, the body tends to give out.
But yeah, this is a great opportunity for Brian Abreu to step up for the Astros. And just think about it. Last season, you had Hector Neris, or no, Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, and Josh Hader in 2023 and 2020, not 2023, 2024.
Mhm.
You had a three-headed monster in that bullpen. And as of right now, going into the season, of course, Ryan Presley got traded to the Cubs. You lost one, and now in the present, as of today, Josh Hader lands on the IL. And who do you only have? You only have Brian Abreu. But like I mentioned, this is the time for him to step up because
Mhm.
I honestly think he was very pumped to be in that position in last night's ball game on Wednesday against the Red Sox to close that game out. Because I'm looking at that top pitch velocity. My
Hey,
God, he needs that whole
101.
category on Statcast. 99.1, 99.5, 99.6, 2 times, and ends it as the highest guy of the night with 100.5 miles per hour fastball.
Yeah, which I believe was like 101, 102 that read at Dakin.
It could have been 101 because
Yeah, it could have been 101.
100.5
Yeah, 101.
rounded
Yeah.
up. That's probably 101. But this is a guy that they're really going to need to
And then the
step
thing
up.
that sucks too, that I mean, you did mention Hector Neris too. After the Astros, I mean, after he got his 10 years of service, he was cut as well. But he had a bad outing as well. So he's been someone that has been struggling this year too with other teams.
Yeah, he's been shaky too in his last couple of relief appearances for Houston. So it was time, I would say, for him to be DFA'd. But just not just Brian Abreu needs to step up. I mean, everybody's gonna have to step up. Brian King, Ben Souza, like you had mentioned, Stephen O'Kurt, and this is why my grade or my score, whatever you want to call it, when it came to the trade deadline, we had talked about what grade would you give the Astros deadline? And y'all said B. If I'm not mistaken, B plus. I had just
Mm,
said a B because
yeah, we didn't get no arms.
you need pitching. You need pitching. Of course, it would have been great for them to get a starter, but two, you've seen Houston go after bullpen arms in the past trade deadlines. You've seen it with Kendall Graveman. You saw it with Rafael Montero, Caleb Ferguson. They've always went and grabbed at least one bullpen arm, and this season they did not. Of course, they had to find ways to get their offense back up because if you looked at the lineup before the trade deadline, it just did not look like a big league ready lineup. And now you add Jesus Sanchez, you add Ramon Urias, you add Carlos Correa. That looks really good on the lineup card. But now Josh Hader out, and we do not know the severity of this injury, of how long it's going to be. You're in a position of needing some depth in that bullpen now. Of course,
Yeah,
David, I
I'm
don't
not
know
too sure who's available either.
who,
Like, I'm not too sure who's available either. That's
and that
like been DFA'd or cut from other teams. That
Kendall Graveman.
yeah, Graveman, but I seen
I'm
the
not
K
saying
rate.
that he's the
The K
answer.
rate is down though.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's the answer, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
Kendall Graveman was released by the Diamondbacks. Ryan Presley, of course, is still out there. A lot of fans, of course, have shared their input of yay and nay about that. Uh, but that's why David Robinson was a free agent for the longest, if I'm not mistaken, for this season. And the Phillies went out there and swept him up. So for Houston, of course, they could rely on Brian Brady to close them games out. But who's going to be the setup guy? Who's going to
yeah.
be the seventh guy?
I think it's gonna have to
Oh,
be JP.
it could be JP. But why is Houston putting him as a starter right now? Getting him some innings. And them situations, you would like to see him come out of the pen.
Yeah,
Caleb
around
Port's
like
going to be
fourth
another
inning,
guy.
fifth
Caleb
inning.
Port is going to be another guy that's going to have to step up for this team. And when I say these names, do you feel confident that this bullpen can take over with Brian Abreu now being in the closing role and not having Josh Hader coming out for 26 out of the 27 save opportunities that he has?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty shaky right here. This little tough stretch right here until we figure out what's going on with Hayden, and you can hope that he comes back and gets a better second opinion that it's good and it's not like where he has to shut it down. Because if we lose him, then that's gonna be a really really tough blow from the Astros, and it's gonna slap us in the face. And then to rely on Kurt and these guys is they're okay, but they're not the ones that you want to call on these really really tough situations. Sousa can step it up, but King as well has to step it up. But these guys are like Sousa and Kurt and King. They have great flashes, but they need to stay consistent. Especially now with this coming up, they really had to step it up and lock in because the Astros are in just on dire need of the help.
Yeah, this is the bullpen as of right now. You have Brian Abreu, Iniel de los Santos, Sean Dubin, who was hit pretty damn hard against the Red Sox, Brian King, Stephen O'Kerr, Caleb Ort, Bennett Souza, and Jordan Weems, who the Astros did call up after Congorin got sent down. So when
Yeah,
you say these names, it just does not, it's not eye candy. It doesn't pop right out and be like, oh man, this is a good game. We have, if it's a 7-5 game or 7-6 game, are you telling me you're feeling confident with those guys? Of course, for the Astros, yes. The automatic answer is yes, because you're gonna have team. You're gonna have to have trust in your team. But as us guys, of course, we're not on the field with the Astros. My opinion, I do not feel confident for the Astros to have those type of guys close it down in a 1-run, 2-run setting. Very tough.
yeah, this is a tough one. And then De Los Santos too is somebody that hopefully could work out. I mean,
Because I'm gonna look up the Space Cowboys roster just to
real
see
quick.
who they got. Because of course you're gonna get two more additions to your roster when rosters expand in September. And I'm just curious. Of course, we saw the Colton Gordon experiment. That doesn't necessarily mean Houston's not afraid to call him back up. But let's see if I can bring it up. Of course. Okay. Luis Contreras, Cohen Gordon, Nick Hernandez.
Contreras was DFA, wasn't
It says on the Cowboys roster right now that he's on here, but let me just go with the pitchers. AJ Blueball, Jose Fleury, of course, JP France is on there. Luis Garcia is still on there because of the rehabs. Colin Gordon, Nick Hernandez, Tyler Ivey, who's pitched at the big league level at times, Michael Knorr, Red Koba, Jaden Murray, Glenn Otto, Ethan Pecco, John Rooney, Alan Santa, Taylor Scott. That is that the
he?
Astros Taylor Scott? Yes, it actually is.
Yeah, they got him back from after Arizona dropped him, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Taylor Scott back on, but he is not on the 40-man roster. Miguel Ulola and Logan Van Wy.
Yeah, Van Way has been doing pretty
Or Van
well.
Wy, yeah.
Van Way, yeah. What,
So
we don't have Mashinsky no more, huh, Parker?
Parker Mashinsky is not on this
Yeah.
roster. So for Houston, you're very thin on bullpen help, on relief roles.
Blue Ball's been doing pretty well, so I mean that's somebody that maybe the Astros could call on later if they need to.
You could, but that's where my
You would
point
rather
comes
start
in
him,
with starting. Yes,
yeah, because he's a good starter.
he's a starting pitcher and really doesn't come out of the bullpen, and that'd be tough on him to, be asked of that task of coming out of the bullpen and try to, get an inning or two. And that's where I think if you're the Astros, you're gonna get Lance McCullers Jr. coming back from these blisters. I don't know if you heard that quote. We can talk about that here in a second, but
The blisters, huh?
yes, the blisters evolve. I forgot how he said it, but anyway, getting off topic. You have Lance McCullers Jr. coming back, JP France coming back, and Luis Garcia. As of right now, this rotation is Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, Spencer Rigetti, and Jason Alexander. Jason Alexander is probably going to be gone off of this rotation. Luis Garcia, I think, takes his place. So here's where my 2 cents come into this, trying to solve this bullpen. One, you could put JP France back in that bullpen, and he has pitched out of the bullpen at times. The other one is going to be Lance McCullers Jr. However, is he going to accept a role to the bullpen, even though he was paid to be a starter for so many years in this organization? That's the iffy part of this dilemma. If McCullers would accept it, he is a good pitcher to put in an inning or two situation. And you can say the same thing for JP France, a guy that can give you multiple innings, not eat up innings, but multiple innings if you need somebody to piggyback off of a 4 or 5 inning start.
You see, here's the thing too. On McCullers, is the command going to be there out of the bullpen once you put him in? Because he's a guy that sometimes the whole first inning he's not on, and then second inning he's kind of catching a little bit, and then third he settles in. So it's like it's going to be a tough one, especially for him. He's a guy that's real superstitious, and a lot of things get to his head, and he has overcome a lot of things mentally. So I mean, you could just bet this is just something that's slapping him in the face right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. And if I'm McCullers, I would try giving it a shot because you're seeing where this bullpen is. I think JP France would have no doubts of going into the bullpen. He's done it before, but McCullers, this would be a new, different type of,
and especially with Correa being back, like that's his boy. Him and McCullers are pretty locked in. So I'm sure if Correa get behind him and talk to him, and Correa could get some influence out of him.
I mean, he could say so much, but at the end of the day, he's not making the decision. Yeah. McCullers is going to make the decision, and I think for McCullers, I honestly think he could be a good 7 or 8 guy out of the bullpen.
But what happens? What happens if he does decline the bullpen role? Like what goes on?
Of course, you're still going to have JP France, and the rotation is going to be pretty full.
Yeah,
they could go to a 6-man, but then not at times it's going to be at a 6-man because Framber and Hunter have their names locked up in this rotation. You can say the same thing for Christian Javier too.
Yeah, for
he
sure.
Has his name locked up. Spencer Rigetti, I think his name is locked up too. It's just the number 5. It's kind of tossed in the air between Garcia, France, and McCullers. And the way we'll have our update here in a second with Garcia, the way he's been pitching in AAA with Sugarland, I would not doubt to see him out of the starting rotation when he comes back.
But real quick, so we can get to that interesting stuff. Let's get over this pitching preview real quick. The Baltimore Orioles come in town tomorrow, Friday, with a 55-66 record, last in the AL East, 4-6 in their last 10 games. Split the last series against Seattle, which they did help us with that. Um, but this is a team that, once again, it just started going downhill for them, and you thought that they were going to be good whenever they started showing sparks. And Gunnar Henderson was playing phenomenal, Adley was playing phenomenal, and then you see all these prospects, Cowser, Mayo, Stowers, and then all of a sudden they start settling and trading, and then now they're kind of left with what they got. Now they got Jackson Holiday, which is he's trying to find his groove in MLB now, but the team's just not playing well, and it's not working for them.
Yeah, this is a team that I don't think a lot of people expected to fall off. They fired their manager in the beginning of the season. Of course, Rutschman was dealing with injury. Gunnar has and not a down season, but a mid season. You would expect him to be up there, but Colin Cowser too laying on the IL. Jordan Westberg of another guy that's been important to their team on the IL. They've been dealing with injuries themselves, and of course, not to mention their pitching. They haven't had the strongest rotation out there. Eflin's already landed on the IL. Traded away Charlie Moore, who had a rough first half of the season, but then got his groove of things. Not to mention he's with Detroit. I forgot about that. So yeah, this was a different Orioles club from last year winning the AL East to this season last, and more than likely could be possibly not even in the postseason.
Yeah, but let's go over this pitching preview real quick. Orioles pitching preview Friday at 7:10 start. You got Brandon Young 0-6 with a 6.7 ERA versus Framber Valdez 11-5 with a 2.97 ERA. Saturday at 6:10 start. Cade Povich 2-6 record, 4.95 ERA versus Jason Alexander with a 3-1 record and 5.02 ERA. Sunday a 1:10 start. Dean Creamer versus Christian Javier. Javier is 1-0 with a 3.60 ERA.
Got to handle business against the Orioles. Brandon Young, yeah, Brandon Young's a rookie. Has a record of 0-6. If you're the Astros fans, you're probably saying let's go 0-7 with this guy. Framber Valdez is another guy too that's been struggling in his last three starts. The Astros have lost when he has pitched, and it was like the opposite in the beginning with him. I think it was like 9-10-0 when he pitched for the Astros were winning. So if you're Houston, you're trying to get him back on track. Jason Alexander has been really good for Houston coming into starting some games and really been a lifesaver for that rotation.
Especially against that last start. Like
yeah,
he's going to come off pretty pumped. Yeah.
He's had back-to-back starts going over 6 innings, quality starts. So if you're Houston, you're hoping for George Costanza to give you another damn good outing before possibly his last start if Garcia or France comes back. So there's a good one for him. And last but not least, but Christian Javier. You had a great start against the Boston Red Sox. You try to match it up with another good start against the Orioles. Possibly could go 6 innings. More than likely going to be in that 85 to 90 pitch threshold. So like we said, Steban, this is a series you got to take care of against the Orioles.
Hey, man. Only 14 home runs from Gunnar. It was pretty hot before.
Yeah, that's not the Gunnar Henderson we know.
I mean, shoot. 15. Ramon Laureano's their leading, tied with Cedric Mullins at 15.
And that's crazy because Laureano's not even there and Cedric's not even there. That's insane. But
this is a series that the Astros should sweep. But like once I said, everything has to play in their favor. Everybody has to play well. It's baseball. Everybody has to make plays. Errors happen. Walks happen. Home runs happen. Especially the bullpen. This is where it's gonna either make or break us, and we'll see how the bullpen role is gonna lay out with the Hader being out, and see how Espada goes and sets up the games after the starters out the game. So this is a good team to kind of go out there and experiment with things with them not being too hot. But yes, they did silence the Mariners for 2 games, so do not be surprised and they're able to silence the Mariners with a pretty good pitching staff and pretty good offense. What makes you think they can't do similar to the Houston Astros?
I agree with you, and not to mention too this off day that Houston had on Thursday, that really helps their bullpen get a little bit more fresh arms. If you're Framber Valdez, you're trying to go 7 innings, 8 innings, like you said, you can even go a complete game because he's done it before. He's thrown a no hitter before. If you can try to go through a complete game or go through 7 or 8 innings, that really helps out that bullpen for Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, sir. But let's get on with the Astros injury updates. What we wanted to talk about real quick. Luis Garcia rehab continues. He pitched 4.2 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks in yesterday's matchup in Sugarland. Threw 77 pitches, 11 whiffs, and here's the good news: topped out at 94.7 miles per hour. This was Garcia's 7th start.
This is interesting because he went 4 2/3 through 77 pitches. I think Houston might call him up for a trip to Detroit. I think this is
Which
the
they
time.
should. I think it's a good time to let him get him a little shot to see if he's big league ready. He's already had 7 starts, and these past 2, he's gone, I believe, 4, and pretty good amount of strikeouts, and then 1 walk. That means the command is playing pretty well for him, and that new windup and release that he has is doing well for him as well.
Yeah, then if you combine them last 2 starts, I mean, 8 2/3, only giving up an earned run. I think 13 strikeouts. If you add the one from 7, so he's looking pretty damn sharp. I think this new throwing mechanics that he has is really helping his arm slot, helping his arm a little bit more better. And like you're saying, maybe going against Detroit can help him a lot too to see if you're big league ready because the Tigers, that's like we had talked about in the
That's the
standings here
lineup.
earlier. Yeah,
They're not all superstar names, but they're still MLB players, and they know how to play the ball really well.
yes, they do. So I think this is a good test for him. 77 pitches. I think he's ready to go 80 plus. You've seen Javier go 85 in his first start. You saw Eric Getty go 85, if I'm not forgetting, 85, 84 in his first start against Miami. So this could be the time for Luis Garcia to go against a good team in Detroit.
And the thing too with Lewis, since the velocity is not so high right now, you also want to make sure you're not overthrowing the fastball, especially in the big league. You know, it might be different in AAA and all that stuff whenever you're rehabbing, but once you get to big leagues, they know how to handle those lower end velocities because they're used to seeing 99, 100, 98, 97 consistently. So this is where he's going to have to stay in command and rely on his off speed and have a good game plan against teams like this.
Yeah,
Especially with the way that Detroit manages, they're gonna lay out a whole lefty lineup against righties or all righties against a lefty matchup.
yeah. I'm very excited to see if the Astros front office gives him the opportunity, even from Sugarland to the coaching staff too with Houston, to see if they're gonna let him go and start this game in Detroit because I think this is honestly your best opportunity to see how he's gonna pitch well against the Tigers and just see where he's at as of right now too. You're 6 weeks away from the season being over. This is where you got to start as of right now, I think.
And it's gonna fly. It's gonna be a scary, gritty, tough little 6 week stretch right here where Astros still figuring out injuries, but we've been dealing with all year. Like that's pretty tough to deal with the injuries and still trying to figure it out and get yourself occupied for postseason push, which is not easy.
That's why I said when I had talked about that Rangers, the Seattle, and the Oakland, them three series are going to be very important. So this is
And the
why you got to
Angels.
take and the Angels after that. So this is why you got to take care of business against teams like the Baltimore Orioles, the Colorado Rockies.
These are must wins. These are
Yeah,
must win series at least.
and they've done a good job. They've won 3 straight series already in a row. So why not try to make it four against a struggling Baltimore team that has been struggling this whole season?
Yes, sir. But let's keep moving on here. JP France rehab continues. Pitched 4 innings as well, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 7 Ks on tonight's matchup in Sugarland. Through 77 pitches, 37 strikes, produced 13 whiffs, which is a good thing to take away from his start from him. But he needs to clean up a lot and to be he probably has what 2, 3 starts left in him.
I got one more start in him. I
One,
like to see that walk rate go down, as well as the earned runs. I'm guessing that he allowed a home run in this start, but I'd give him. And Angel always preached about this. The stat line really doesn't matter as long as his pitches are being
yeah,
thrown, how many whiffs he's generating, and I agree with that. But at the same time, too, you would like to see the command against AAA players. You still want him to look good.
be
So,
dominant.
yeah, you want to be dominant in that category. So for me, maybe give France one more start, and then he should be ready for that Rocky series if he's matched up for
Oh,
that.
that'd be really
That,
good for
that's
him.
what I'm saying. It's going to be. I want to know how this rotation is going to be when Garcia comes back because that when you put Garcia back, then it's five. All five slots are
Take it.
already there. They're taken. So where are you going to plug JP? Where are you going to plug Nats? Unless you
Yeah,
have a big game, a 10-game stretch or 15,
then you're
you
able to
know,
start everybody else.
consecutive baseball, and then you go to that 6-man. So
Which we are going to be in a 10 game stretch right here. So it'll be interesting to see how they roll things out. Um, but last but not least, the big man, Jordan Alvarez. Per Joe Spada, Jordan Alvarez will take live BP this weekend in West Palm Beach, which is a good sign because the Astros need Jordan to be out there.
yes, putting Jordan Alvarez in this lineup just makes it dangerous, obviously. So if you're an Astros fan, you are praying, you're lighting candles, you're trying to do whatever, praying a rosary. I'm guessing you're trying to figure a way to get Alvarez back in big league gameplay because if all goes well at West Palm, more than likely he's going to get some game action and probably be on a rehab assignment in AAA, and that's a huge step in this process because this guy has been out since, not mistaken, May. No, for sure it was that White Sox series in Chicago. So
What do you think the Astros give him a chance to come?
when?
Yeah, like what series maybe?
What series? I had said the first or second week of September. I think that's when he'll return. I could be wrong. Y'all said I think you and Angel said the last week of
Yeah,
August.
I was thinking last week.
Yeah, it could be, but of course you want him not to be rushed. You want and Dana Brown really the whole organization has done a really good job on that. You do not want to rush a player back from injury, and they've given Jordan all the time that he needs. I know a lot of Astros fans are frustrated about it, and they're not very happy about him having this long of a time, and trying to figure out what's up with his hand. Same time too, I mean, you never know. He could be playing an injury throughout this process. There could be really something wrong and have surgery in the offseason. But seeing that he's trying to do whatever he can to get back in play, of course, he's already told the media too that it's very frustrating that he has to deal with this.
Mhm.
But at the same time, too, you would rather have as Dana Brown, I'm quoting him, a 75% Alvarez you would like to throw out there than not having Jordan Alvarez. So that is the it of. I did not think, Seb, on me and you were going to go an hour 30, bro. I did not
Yeah,
think
me
that was
either.
going to happen. But
But
hey,
I
that's the
mean, what do
beauty.
you expect when you got two yappers?
Yeah, and that's what you get when you have the baseball knowledge of us guys talking Astros baseball, getting you ready. Not to mention, before we end this show, Billy Wagner Hall of Fame induction this weekend, like I had mentioned, Saturday. They will be retiring his number 13. I even put a tweet out there too of some of the Astros Hall of Famers that will be out there. I know at the top of my head, Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio, Lance Berkman, Shane Reynolds, um, and Terry Poole. Some of the guys I put the list out there, so if you haven't seen it, just check it out. As well, if you did not know, $13 to take a picture with the plaque of Hall of Fame closer Billy Wagner at Dyken Park. So that's
Just
not
the
bad.
black?
Yeah, his plaque. So,
Not him though.
huh?
Not him included. Just the
Not
black.
him included. It's just the plaque. So he's like how they do the World Series trophies.
Yeah.
Something like that, similar. It'd be with the plaque, but that's pretty cool too. If you don't go to Cooperstown and not be able
They're gonna
to,
have like any like
yeah,
special merch or something available, hats, something.
I'm pretty sure they'll have some type of merch, especially with Hall of Fame weekend, Astros Hall of Fame weekend going down. I know
Yeah,
bobblehead.
I
There's
might
going to
have
be
to make my
Friday.
way this weekend
Yeah,
there.
Friday's the giveaway of a Gray Road '04
What's the bobble
Houston
Saturday?
jersey. Yeah, and the bobblehead, Hall of Fame bobbleheads on Saturday. And Sunday, the Astros are giving away like a throwback bucket hat. So
I have to go
your
Saturday.
your giveaway knowledge as of right now, what I've got, but should be awesome. Like I said, $13 to see the plaque and take a picture with it. Like I said, if you can't take the ride to Cooperstown, New York, hey, they're bringing the plaque to you at Darkin Park, and you'll be able to see it, read it, and take a picture with it. But should be awesome. It should be fun. Hopefully, we'll get some content for y'all and we'll put that out there. But like, if you haven't done so, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give that notification bell a ring so then you will not miss the reels, the shorts, the interviews, and all the videos that we're going to be posting from this weekend at Dyken Park. As well, give this video a like. FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram, Full Steam Ahead on Twitter, X, and TikTok. And like I said in the beginning of the show, if you don't want to look at our beautiful faces and want to hear our lovely voices on the road, you're screaming down on 59, going out of town for some reason to 45 North in, I don't know, that city of Southern Oklahoma. Yeah, we're there. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Like, rate, subscribe, give us some feedback, and let us know how we're doing, how you're liking the show. We appreciate all of your input and your support. Steban, final thoughts before we sign off on this lovely Thursday night and fixing to be a Friday
Friday
morning.
night.
It is
Friday morning.
11:56 p.m. in Houston, Texas.
Now, just once again, another good episode that we were able to touch up and talk about the Astros, which is every time we talk about the Astros, it's a fun opportunity to have, and especially to have people come rock out with us and interact with us, or just come give us a listen. It's always good that somebody out there is listening and believes in us and appreciates the work that we do to try to organize stats and recaps of all these series with the Astros. One thing I wanted to say, any of y'all teachers out there, don't be shy of putting up the Full Steam podcast for your kids on, lunchtime or maybe a little nap time, put it to sleep so they can hear our voices.
Or if
But
you don't want to hear, if you do not want to hear their voices and you just want them to go play recess and you want to hear us, by
yeah,
all
go
means,
ahead.
we're not mad about that. I know Angel does that 10 times a day. So yeah, and that's why he's not here with us today, but hopefully he'll be back on Sunday for the recap of that Orioles series. We're going to give you that. And of course, we'll give you that preview of the, I believe the Detroit series, right? If I'm not mistaken, Seb, if you have the schedule right in front of you.
Yeah, as Orioles in Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit series. We'll give you that going as well. We'll talk about what's going around Hall of Fame weekend. Hopefully, y'all can make it out there to see that. That should be an awesome
I'll
time.
give a little recap of the ballpark stuff that went on and stuff.
Yeah, maybe there's some merchandise out there. Billy Wagner, like I mentioned, that's a big day. Third Astros Hall of Famer, at least to wear the hat of the Astros logo going into Cooperstown. So that is pretty awesome. Until then, y'all stay safe. Y'all have a blessed weekend, and we will talk to y'all soon. Like I said, if you haven't seen our social and YouTube, that's where you're going to see all these videos of Hall of Fame weekend. So make sure you subscribe and do all that good stuff. Till then, y'all stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all soon.